divide. So first, let us know what is the North and South divide is. The North is also known as the rich country, and the South is also known as the poor or least developed country. So let us start and how it is divided. First thing is the slavery. The reason why North and South divided into two is because first is the slavery, second is the power of balance of power in the government. So first, how was the slavery in North? So yung slavery noon sa North is inabando na yung slavery doon because North is also known nga as a rich country. So they don't have they don't need a lot of slave para mapagtutusan dahil yung ekonomiya nila ay masyadong upgraded kaysa sa South. While yung South naman, because of cheap and yung area nila is maliit lang and then yung agriculture rin nila so fewer, mas marami yung tao sa North kaysa sa South, mas maliit yung tao sa South kaya mas kailangan nila mas marami na slave kaysa sa North. And then, how was the slavery in South? So, yung slavery sa South is, may mga rules sila. Before sila uh, negotiate is, may mga rules or yung tinatawag na slave law. Yung may mga customs, may mga batas sila na sinusunod or yung slave law na tinatawag natin. Why is the South cheaper than North? So, bakit mas cheaper yung South sa North? Kasi as what I've said a while ago, smaller and smaller in land sila yung South. So, few people, land is much cheaper. Yung mga cities nila, smaller cities, yung inland nila, so maliit. So, they need a lot of slaves para mapagtutusan. And that's all. And I hope, guys, you learn a lot about this.
Hello everyone. So my topic is all about the North-South divide. Based on my own understanding, the two countries which is North and South has divided. The word North is used to mean the richer country which are part of East Asia, and the South is used to mean the poorer country of Africa and Asia. North-South divide is still common use, but the terms North and South are already somewhat outdated. North has a limited farmland, continue to have small family farms. North includes many of the world's rich industrial nations, while the South instead focus on large-scale farming with slaves as workers. South holds a much smaller population of the world people thus than the North. Living income in the South is greater than in the North, but the population growth of the North is greater than in the South. These two countries lead to different societies with different values and experience in the same country.
Hello, my name is Christian Rodriguez Pedrizo, and I'm here to share my knowledge about the word digital divide. So, digital divide comes from the two words digital means electronic gadgets or technologies, and divide means to separate. So, digital divide typically exists in places that is educated and uneducated, cities and rurals, more developed places and less developed places. Digital divide has the same characteristics with the north-south divide. But the weird thing is that in the north-south divide, people in the north are the wealthy ones. And wealthy ones are more advanced and up to date. While the south regions are the poor ones, and poor ones are always lack of supplies and outdated. But in Asia, the continent that the value of money, the yen and peso, is lower compared to the other continents, the dollars and pounds, and considered as a poor continent, Asia has the highest rate of internet usage, especially broadband access, than the other countries.
Discuss development gap between North and South. Inequalities is everywhere. People on this earth have been divided into two types, the poor and the rich. This big gap that separates the two groups is known as development gap. The global North is the economically developed countries. They wanted free states. Northern thought that slavery is wrong, so they outlawed it. The global South, however, is known from being a less economically developed countries. They wanted new states as slave states. In countries or in corrupt countries, some are recognized as person with stealing power from the poor, meaning to say the rich becomes richer and the poor becomes poorer. The Human Development Index, or the HDI, is an index used to measure the key dimensions of human development such as life expectancy and access to education. So that's all. Thank you.
Digital divide, a gap between two groups. First group is a group who already had access to technologies and internet, and the other group is a group who were unable to cope up in the modern world. And digital divide had three stages. First stage, economic divide, which means an equal distribution of income and job opportunities. Second, usability divide, which means technologies still remain so complicated so that many people couldn't use it even it is free. Third, empowerment divide, which means concern with how we use technology to empower ourselves. Digital divide had a big impact to the world, especially to those who are in the rural areas who couldn't access technologies and internet. Development gap refers to the widening gap between richest or most developed countries or people and poorest or least developed countries and people in the world. For example, poor people had no house, no permanent job, unable to eat 3 times a day, and a lot more, while rich people had mansions or live in an apartment or villa and had luxurious things and unable to eat more than 3 times a day. Thank you.
During and after Cold War, nations are classified into first, second, and third world. The first world, known as the most highly industrialized countries whose views align with capitalism, and the second world are countries supported by Soviet Union. On the other hand, third world are countries whose lack of stability due to inconsistent and lack of functioning class system that leads into massive amount of poverty. This country, also known as the underdevelopment countries, that needs to rely on more industrialized countries to aid and help them to stabilize their economy. During Cold War, the term third world is an outdated and offensive phrase that been used historically to describe a class of developing economy. As of today, the preferred term is referred to the countries to sustain their economy at least for a short period of time.
My discussion was all about the understanding of the third world country. So, during the Cold War, approximately 1945 to 1990s, the classification of countries was created, and those classifications are the first world, the second, the third world, and the fourth world. They are characterized by their economic status and key economic metrics such as the GDP, or the gross domestic product, the GDP growth, the per capita income, the employment growth, and the unemployment rate. When it comes to the third world countries, sila yung mga bansa na nagde-develop pa lang. Sila ay may mababang GDP, may mababang per capita income, ngunit may mataas na unemployment rate. Sila din yung mga bansa na sinusubaybayan ng International Monetary Fund at ng World Bank upang bigyan ng pondo para gumawa ng mga proyekto na maaaring makatulong sa pagtaas ng kanilang economic status. Sa kabila ng undeveloped countries sila, maraming investors ang gusto mag-invest sa mga bansang ito. Dahil nga developing pa lang, marami pang business ang pwedeng gawin at maaring maging patok sa mga tao. Sa kabila na nandun din yung tendency na magiging lugi din sila dahil sa mababang economic status ng mga bansang ito.
So, in this part, we are talking about the countries that belongs to the third world country. Actually, madami ang country na belong sa third world country, but I will only give some popular countries that belong to it. The first is Mexico. Due to the poverty and lack of education in their country, they are considered as third world country. The second is India. It has the high poverty rate, corruption, and an outdated caste system. The third is Brazil. This country has a low BDP per capita, low living standards, high birth rate, and high death rate. The fourth is Philippines, our country, because the GDP per capita is low and the infant mortality is high. Many of our citizens are lack access to healthcare and higher education as well. And some of those countries that belongs to it is the Thailand, Jamaica, Peru, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Syria, and many more.
At this point of time, together with my partner, we will discuss to you what is Asian regionalism. So before we discuss what is Asian regionalism, let's first discuss what is Asia and what is regionalism. So, what is Asia? We all know what is Asia. This is the largest and the most populated continent in the world. But in contemporary world, Asia has become an economic force characterized by reduced poverty and fast-paced economic development. So, Asia was a central global force in early modern world economy. It was cited to be the most important trade routes, and some places in Asia is more advanced, like in technology, science, and medicine. Just like, for example, the country of Japan, China, and Korea. These countries more likely advanced in technology and entertainment, and even in their economy. So let's move on regionalism. So what is regionalism? Regionalism strengthens collective identity in a conglomerate of nations occupying a particular geographic area or aiming at shared goals that helps to increase in economic exchange in a particular area. So also regionalism refers to the decentralization of a political power or competencies from higher towards a lower political level. So, pag nagkakaroon ng regionalism, meron talagang tinatawag natin na shift decentralization, na para bang you centralize at the same time you decentralize. Merong shift from political power down to lower political level, and also it's stated that the power of a group of a country is so powerful. Ito yung mga bansang magkatabi lang or nasa isang geographic area lang, na ang mga bansa ito ay mayroong shared goals or objective, and that is to keep raising their economy, just like the country of China, Japan, Korea. They have the same objective to increase their economy when it comes to entertainment.
Hi everyone, my name is Levi Gumbok, first year student of RMCMI, picking up the Bachelor of Secondary Education. So at this point, I will tell you what is the importance and goals of Asian regionalism. So what is the goals of Asian regionalism? So the Asian regionalism aims and purposes were about cooperation in economic, social, cultural, technical, educational, and other fields in the promotion of regional peace and stability through abiding respect for justice and the rule of law and adherence to the principle of the United Nations Charter. It is stipulated that the association would be open for participation by all states in Southeast Asia region, subscribing to its aims, principle, and purposes. So, what is the importance of Asian regionalism? So, Asian regionalism first is to link the competitive strength of the diverse economies in order to boost their productivity and sustain the region's exceptional growth. Second, create regional mechanism to manage cross-border health, safety, and environmental issues. Third, connect the region capital, make to enhance financial stability, reduce the cost of capital, and improve opportunity for risk. And lastly, exercise global leadership and decision-making to global making trade.
Regionalism brings a huge benefit not just in Asia but to the whole world. This is the unification of the countries where they have a common desire, and that is what will improve their economy. Regionalism can actually link the competitive strengths of its diverse economies to boost their productivity and sustain the region's exceptional growth. Connect the region's capital markets to enhance financial stability, reduce the cost of capital, and improve opportunities for shaking risk. Cooperate in settling exchange rate and macroeconomic policies to minimize the effects of global and regional shock and facilitate the resolution of global imbalances. Also pool the region's foreign exchange reserves to make more resources available for investment and also development itself.
How regionalism can benefit in Asia. The benefit of regionalism in Asia could bring a huge benefits, and it could help to sustain the region's growth. In terms of economic stability, this will also help every nation of the Asia to focus particularly in exporting markets just around in Asia, where the selling of product will only be beneficial for every country in Asia. Leadership in global decision making to sustain the open global trade and financial system that have supported half country of unparalleled economic development. Build connected infrastructure and collaborate on inclusive development to reduce inequalities within the across and economics and thus to strengthen support for pro-growth policies and create regional mechanism to manage cross-border health, safety, and environmental issues better. The opportunities are clear, which is why regional integration deserves a high priority in regional policy making. However, the challenge of cooperation should not be underestimated. It will require trust, innovation, and compromise, and most likely time.
Everyone, and today I will discuss to you how Asian regionalism can benefit the world, not just in Asia itself. The rest of the world could benefit too, as long as Asia's economies continue to integrate not just with each other, but also with the rest of the world. But why Asian regionalism? I will give you 5 key points and reasons why Asia regionalism can benefit the world. So first, it can generate productivity, new ideas, and competition that boost economic growth and raise incomes across the world. Second, it contributes to the efficiency and stability of global financial markets by making Asian capital markets stronger and safer, maximizing the productive use of Asian savings. Third, it can diversify sources of global demand, helping to stabilize the world economy and diminish the risk posed by global imbalances and downturns in the major economies. Fourth,
It provides leadership to help sustain open global trade and financial systems. And lastly, it can create regional mechanisms to better manage health, safety, and environmental issues, thus contributing to more effective global solutions to these problems. That's the reason why Asian regionalism can benefit the world.